Okay, so I had an interesting night. I'm gonna go ahead and count the money that I made right now, and this really was an interesting night. So I didn't actually work. I went into work at Penthouse. I did not get hired, which was quite a surprise because before I even went in the door, I had somebody meet me outside the door that was like, "Are you working here tonight?" And I said, "Yeah." And he was like, "I'm gonna come back in and see you." And I was like, "Okay, cool." So I wasn't actually technically working yet. And then when I went in, I went upstairs, got ready to audition, came downstairs, and was sitting at a table with another girl who was auditioning, and there was a guy at the bar, and he was staring at me, and I was like, I looked at him, and I looked back, and I looked at him, and he was still looking at me, and I looked back at this other girl. And then I was like, what the fuck, what do I have to lose? So I looked over at this guy and I was like, hey, I was like, we're about to go audition. I was like, you can cheer for us. And he was like, what? And I said, we're gonna go audition. I was like, you can cheer for us. And he was like, what? I said, we're going to audition. I was like, you can come cheer for us. And he got up and came over to me, or to us. And we started talking. He was very engaged, whatever. And so this girl was like, do you want to go up first? Do you want me to? And this guy's talking to us the whole time. And she was clearly annoyed. And I think the reason she was annoyed is because she knows we're not supposed to be talking to customers before we get hired. I don't care. I don't care. If this guy's gonna pay me at some point during the night, I don't give a fuck if I'm not supposed to talk to him beforehand. So I was like just talking to him, and she was clearly very annoyed. At one point she was like, could you give us some space? And I was like, this girl doesn't know how to work. So we go on, and maybe it's because of me that we didn't get hired. I really don't know. But we go to get on stage. She goes up first, does her dance, whatever. Thought she did fine. Comes down. And I go up to mine. I have two guys approach me, come up the stage. This guy that I was just talking to said he was gonna come up and tip me, but another girl approached him while, I was on stage, so he didn't come up. These two guys in front of the manager that was helping me get down from stage, because I don't have a rail there, was like, both of them were like, you're super beautiful, blah, blah, blah. And I come down, had this guy that said he wanted to get a dance with me, had a guy outside that said he was gonna come in and see me. We go upstairs and this guy's like, sorry ladies, it's gonna be a no. I was like, really? I didn't say that, but I was like, okay. So we both go back up to the dressing room, get changed, and when I'm going to leave, same thing from Penthouse Club. I was like, I want to know what the fuck happened. So, I come down, and as I'm walking out the dressing room, the guy that I had talked to that came over to us was sitting there, and he had said he's been coming there for 20 years and he knows all the managers and all this bullshit. And as I'm walking past him, he's sitting with another girl. As I'm walking past him, I said, they didn't hire me, tell them they fucked up. And I started walking out the door, and he goes, what? And I said, they didn't hire me, tell them they fucked up. Because they fucked up. They would have made money from me, absolutely. And as I'm walking towards the door, I see the manager, and I'm like, I'm gonna fucking ask him. So I walk up to him, and I was like, hey, you saw two guys come up the stage just to talk to me. I said, somebody at the door before I even came in was like, I'm gonna come in and see you. And the other guy right there said he was gonna go do VIP with me. Like, why? Like, I just want to know why. Like, no hard feelings, but why? Is it my hair? You know, what the fuck? Like, you know, why? And he goes, well, we're not allowed to talk about why not, and blah, blah. I was like, why? I was like, just tell me. I was like, it's not a big deal. I just want to know why. I know I'm in good shape right now. Like, I just want to know why. And he wouldn't tell me. And I was like, all right, whatever. So I go to leave, walk out the door, turn left, and I'm starting to think, all right, where else am I going to go tonight? There's Rick's, there's, I don't know where the fuck else, Barely Legal, place called Cabaret. I'm just running through my head, all right, well, where am I going to go? Because I'm going to go somewhere. I'm going to go make money somewhere tonight. And I was like, well, I don't really know, but I want to get a drink first, and I think I want to get an appetizer. I was hungry, and I was tired, and I wanted a drink. And so I'm playing it through my head. I see this place on my left. I'm like, maybe there, nah, maybe not. Keep walking. And I hear from behind me, hey! And I don't think it's directed towards me, and I just keep walking. I hear, hey! Keep walking, hey! I'm like, this is you know, I turn around, and the guy that came up to me in this check is following me down the street. The guy that I was like, okay, tell your fucking buddy, tell your manager, or tell the manager that, you know, that you've known for 20 years that he fucked up. And he's following me down the street. And I was like, well, I don't really give a fuck if anybody from the club sees, because I'm not going back there again. So I stop, and this guy catches up to me, and he's like, hey, what happened? I was like, I don't know. I was like, I asked, but they wouldn't tell me. And he was like, well, do you want to work tonight? And I was like, yes, I want to work tonight. I was just in the club. Like, yeah, I want to work. And he goes, well, maybe we can go do a private VIP. And I was like, I would like that. And you've got to always wonder, are these people full of shit? The ones that are telling you, you know, they're going to pay you and stuff, are they full of shit? Because you never know. And you've got to set expectations up front. So I waited about 30-45 minutes, maybe an hour actually, before I set expectations with this guy. But let's see how much I made off of this guy tonight. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. 11, 12. Fuck yeah. I didn't even know. Shit! Oh. Hell yeah. That makes me so happy. I didn't know. I thought I made 8. I thought I maybe made 8. Hell yeah. That makes me so happy. You have no idea. Fuck yeah. I just made $1,200 and I just hung out with somebody all night. Oh my god. So... I guess let me go ahead and give a little bit of an explanation about what happened. So, what time is it? It is, it's 4:30, shit. Okay, so I hung out with him for a minute. Probably met him at, I'm gonna say, I got at the club probably about 8. So, by the time I was hanging out with him, it was probably 9:30, 10:30, 11:30, 12:30, 1:30, 2:30, 3:30, 4:30. So that's 7 hours. So, he got a minute of my time for sure. But what did I just say? 1,200. I am not disappointed. Hell yeah. So we walked around, we went drinking for a while. What are you doing, dude? We walked around and went drinking for a while. We went to a couple jazz bars. We went to a place called Dungeon, which was super creepy. It wasn't creepy, but I didn't like the vibe. The music was like hardcore, like rock and stuff. So literally we walked in the door, we were there for like 5 seconds, and I was like, I don't like it here. So we left. He was very, very, very into me. Like, holy cow. I honestly cannot tell you how many times he was like, I want tonight to be all about you, blah, 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 for real. And I was like, okay, well, that's totally cool with me. Again, you don't know when guys actually mean it. I don't know when they actually mean it. And most of the time, I truly feel like they're full of shit. So he told me that. He was like, fuck. He was like, oh shit. Oh, that was not good. That was not good. I thought that was my turn. That was not my turn. That was a one-way road. Well, it looked like my turn. Hopefully it's all good. Fuck, I'm gonna have to get my car checked after that one. Shit. Okay, anyway, so I think my turn signal is broken. Oh my god, is my fucking turn signal? No, it's good. Okay. So expectations. So I was hanging out with him for probably about an hour before I laid out pretty soon into talking to him. I was like, listen, he straight up told me he wanted to take good care of me, and I think we all know that when a guy says he wants to take good care of you, chances are his terminology of taking good care of you or spoiling you is not what we're expecting. And if you don't realize that yet, you know, maybe your definition of being taken care of is very different than mine, but I have noticed personally that when a guy says he wants to take good care of me or spoil me, it is not in the same ballpark as what I mean when it comes to being taken care of or spoiled at all. So I was very aware of that right off the bat, and I was like, you know, I need to figure out what he's talking about, because he was like, I want to really take good care of you, and I want to make sure you're very well compensated for your time. And you know, that sounds all good and dandy until you've spent hours and hours and hours with them, and then they go to hand you $400, and you're like, well, wait a minute, that's not at all what I was expecting. I was expecting like a lot more than that. So I asked him, I had already been hanging out with him for an hour, maybe an hour and 15, maybe 30, and I was like, all right, so I just want to get expectations out of the way because I don't want either of us to be unhappy. And he was like, and I thought he was gonna not be happy about that, and he was like, oh, good. He was like, I like your style, and I was like, okay, good. So you know, how about I'll hang out with you until 1? So it was what, 10, 11, 12, 1? No, that wouldn't be right. I would hung out with him since 9, 12, 1, 2. I told him I would hang out with him till 2. And I was like, how about 600? And he was like, at first I thought he said, that sounds a little cheap. And I was like, I looked at him and I was like, that is the best possible answer you could have possibly said. Because I really genuinely thought he wanted to take really good care of me. And he fucking did. He did, apparently. But I was like, that's the best possible answer you'd have said. And he was like, what did you think I said? And I said, that sounded cheap. And he goes, no, I said that sounded steep. And I was like, oh shit. And I was like, all right, well, how does 600 sound? I was like, you know, about 100 an hour. And he goes, how about 4? And I was like, how about 5? And he said, how about 4 plus a tip? And I was like, how about $100 tip? And he goes, all right, let's do 4 and we'll see how it goes. And, you know, depending on how the night goes, you know, maybe I'll give you a $100 tip. And I said, okay, well, I'll let you know right now, a $100 tip would make me very happy. Men genuinely, from what I've learned, men genuinely love to make women happy. So to use that word, it would make me happy if I made $500 a night. They like that. And I told him straight up, when he followed me on the street and he, you know, was like, let's hang out, I was like, well, that sounds great, but I need to work tonight. So I was gonna go find another club and I was gonna go to work. And he goes, well, I'll put you to work. He was like, let's do a VIP. He was like, I'll put you to work. And I was like, that sounds great. I was like, that sounds really great. And then I asked him, I was like, 10 minutes later, I was like, are you sure you're serious that you want me to work tonight? Because if you're not serious, like, I really need to work tonight for real. I was like, I got here on Friday, I came in late, I couldn't work Friday night, I came in on Saturday. What the fuck happened Saturday? I don't know, something happened Saturday and Sunday, and I couldn't work both nights. So I was like, I really need to work tonight. And he was like, yeah. He was like, no, I really do. He was like, I want to put you to work, you know, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, okay, you know, if you're sure that you want to. And he said he did. So anyway, so apparently it ended up working out. We walked around, went drinking for a while. We went to a couple different jazz bars. We went to see, like, walk down an art alley and whatever. That was really cool. And then I think we went, did we go back to his place at that point? I think we went back to his place at that point. And I danced for him for a little while. We went out on the porch. He smoked some weed, came back in, drank, did more dancing, went back out on the porch, came back in. We went out again because I was hungry, so we went out to get something to eat, came back, and he just kept handing me money over and over. Like, he was like, I want to give you more money. And I was like, okay, well, I would love if you would give me more money. So he just kept handing me 50s and 100s, and lo and behold, I just made $1,200, and I didn't even realize I made $1,200. So, you know, that's awesome. I didn't even realize I made that much. I seriously thought I made like 8, maybe. So, you know, just because you don't get hired at some motherfucking club does not mean shit about your potential to make money. Seriously, like, fucking Penthouse is supposedly one of the nicest clubs in this motherfucking area, and I didn't even work there, and I made $1,200 off of a customer in the club. Like, seriously, you know, seriously, I probably made more money than any girl that was fucking working that night. I would not be surprised, seriously. So, you know, don't be discouraged if you get turned down from somewhere, because it doesn't fucking matter. It does not matter. And this goes back to my same experience working. I went to Gold Club in San Francisco, you know, nicest club in San Francisco. Get hired at this place, and for night shift, get hired at this place, get wasted. Do not remember what happened that night at all. I totally blacked out. Get fired. No idea why. I have no clue what I did. Zero idea why I got fired, for real. And then I go to Hustler Club in San Francisco the next day, I think, and I get hired for day shift. You know, like, you just, you know, you just don't know. It just depends on the day. It depends on the manager. It depends on their mood. It depends on who knows what the fuck it depends on. So don't be discouraged if you don't get hired from somewhere, because it doesn't fucking matter. I'm gonna go see if this place has some wine for sale. Okay, have a great night. I just wanted to ramble about my night. I hope that you're having a wonderful evening or whatever it is. I will talk to you later. Ciao.